Hi and welcome to yet another Illuminations with Tiina and Fi. I'm Tiina.
And I'm Fi.
Hello Fi.
Hi, Tiina.
Lovely to see you. Today we're going to continue on our exploration of Brene Brown, who has inspired both me and Fi. And we're just looking at some of her books and taking out stuff that has been really important for us. Fi, what have you picked this week?
Well, how could we not do Brene without the man in the arena sort of speech? So I'm going to choose that because I do use it a lot and I'll refer on. So this is from her book, Daring Greatly. And the Daring Greatly comes from this speech from Theodore Roosevelt's speech, Citizenship in a Republic, sometimes referred to as the man in the arena. And it was delivered in 1910. So, it is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again. Because there is no effort without error and shortcoming, but who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows, in the end, the triumph of high achievement, and who, at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly. Well, as you can see, that is a very touching speech. Touches me because I feel I was thinking about this. I think probably most of my life I have tried to dare greatly. I think the last few years I have truly allowed myself to dare greatly. And the results have been quite incredible. This does definitely link to the rising strong concept, because in order to be in the arena, you have to accept that you will fail. And, but from failure and from learning to live with discomfort, which comes from vulnerability often, which is what we talked about last time, you will rise greatly. And that is one of the hardest lessons I think I've ever had to learn. And it goes back to something we talked about in one of our other Illuminations, around when you're in the arena and it gets uncomfortable, it's about the living with the discomfort. And, she says the people who learn to live with discomfort learn to rise greatly. What I also love about the man in the arena speech, we could put human in. It's not about mankind. It was written in 1910. No excuses really for Theodore Roosevelt, but let's put that into humankind. I love one concept because, as we know, I've often grown up with a lot of judgment around, and I think some of it's cultural, keeping up with people, judgment, fear of being judged, fear of not fitting in. But what I love about Brene, which I've brought in more and more, she says that if you're in the arena and you are there, and I love that, that's so the touching bit, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, and you are there. And she talks about people in the cheap seats, and the people in the cheap seats, often can be even members of family. For out of love, often will, not be beside you with empathy in the arena. And she kind of says, one of her TED Talks, she does this in this beautiful Texan accent, if you ain't in the arena, then I'm not listening. you know, and I love that. That's really helped me, because I now think when I'm fearful or have a fear around people judging, or people have judged or given feedback, you know, I think, well, you know, if you weren't out dancing on the dance floor at a wedding till 2 a.m, enjoying yourself, and you're sort of making a comment about me dancing till 2 a.m, and is that what you call dancing? I was out there having fun. You were sitting there, so I'm not listening, you know. So it's things like that. That's really helped. And the last thing is, I love the idea, because it helps me communicate with people around me who have also learned to understand the arena and being out in it. And Brene talks about being in the antechamber and how she puts up lights and makes it all really pretty. And sometimes I know when I have to retreat into the antechamber and get in and have my lights and, you know, see who's in there with me, and then get back out into the arena again. That was a long intro.
Yeah, it's good. It's all good stuff. It's all good stuff. But it really is, you know, I think getting into the arena takes so much courage, and the knowledge that not, oh, maybe I will fail sometime. No, you're in the arena, you will fail, you know, there will be times you will fail, and it's okay, you know, it's okay. But it's a hard lesson to learn, you know, and I think what's beautiful about Rising Strong is that she's not saying, oh, fail, it's a, you know, you fail and just get up and dust yourself off and it's happy clappy, you know. It's like, no, yeah, it hurts. You know, it hurts a lot, and it's okay that it hurts us all, you know.
Yeah, it does. And often what keeps us out of the arena are our shields, she calls them, and one struck me, it's the perfectionism. And I'm, you know, I think working with Marky Bob's on my social media and website development has really helped me with that. And the Illuminations with you, Tiina, because we don't cut, we just go for it. And that's been really authentic. And I know we both have drives around that. But the recovering perfectionism that my friend Dan talks about, you know, I'm a recovering perfectionist. I think that is really, really also helpful, because if you actually do live with perfectionism as a drive, it will keep you way out of the arena, because when you're in the arena, you're bare, you know, you are authentic. You may not be perfect, and actually it's people loving you for your foibles, not despite them. And I have learned that recently. Who are the people who walk beside you when you are actually out in the arena? And I also think it's important that she talks about, and I found it in here, whether I can find it very quickly now, but it struck home. She basically was saying that, you know, in order to, you know, rumble through, she talks about Rising Strong, these difficult feelings that can come from being in the arena, you do need a safe, small space to heal and recover. And that, you know, is probably your little antechamber. And that really struck home, as I know you will understand recently. I felt I lost that. So it is about having places, and it may not be physical. It may be, you know, I don't know, in the arms of someone, or you know, chat with a good friend. But yeah, the Man in the Arena speech, inspiring. When I send it out to my clients, when it's appropriate, they are inspired, definitely. Because most of the people I work with, you know, end up in the arena, you know, brave. That's why it's such a privilege, isn't it, what we do?
Of course, and it's you know, to take the first step to start improving or changing your life or your behaviors that are not serving you well, you know, that first step is brave. You know, that's when you're kind of starting to step into the arena already, because you're exploring your life, and yeah, it's not for the faint-hearted.
So Tiina, what was your kind of choice for this week? Your second learning or love of Brene?
Yes, I decided to go back to not the beginning, because the beginning was the shame research, but the first book of the trilogy that became the trilogy, and it's the Gifts of Imperfection. And this really talks about living a wholehearted life. And when Brene did the research on shame, she noticed that there were these men and women who were living really inspired lives, and she was wondering, what is it that they do differently from the rest of us? And she started finding out. So I'll read a little bit. As I started analyzing the stories and looking for reoccurring themes, I realized that the patterns generally fell into one of two columns. I first labeled these do and don't. The do column, which is what the people who live wholehearted lives do. The do column was brimming with words like worthiness, rest, play, trust, faith, intuition, hope, authenticity, love, belonging, joy, gratitude, and creativity. And the don't column was dripping with words like perfection, numbing, certainty, exhaustion, self-sufficiency, being cool, fitting in, judgment, and scarcity. And then she goes on to say, how much we know and understand of ourselves is critically important, but there is something that is even more essential to living a wholehearted life, loving ourselves. And I think that's like, yeah, that's and we talked about that in our last series, was love and loving ourselves. And there in that is the acceptance of ourselves. And I think that's what you also need when you step into the arena, that kind of, okay, this is me now. And it's okay to be me the way I am, and I love myself the way I am. But she in the book, Brene gives 10 guideposts to wholehearted living, and I just want to read 4 of them and see which ones resonate for you, and we can talk about that a little bit more, maybe. Number 3 is cultivating a resilient spirit and letting go of numbing and powerlessness. And numbing we've already talked about as well in our Illumination series. Number 5, cultivating intuition and trusting faith. This is letting go of the need for certainty. And I know that's hard for me, you know. I just want to know what's going to happen. Number 6, cultivating creativity. And this is letting go of comparison. Which interesting enough, when we kind of came into the call today, just chatting before I pressed the record button, I was thinking, God, Fi's so colourful, you know, look at all the red and lovely green, and here I am, grey and black and white. Oh no, you know, yeah. Okay. Comparison and thoughts like, I should have been colourful. You know? Anyway, number 8, cultivating calm and stillness, letting go of anxiety as a lifestyle. Take your pick, Fi. Which one do you want to talk about?
Well, actually, it's really interesting. I think most of those I've actually been kind of working on developing, and they feel more comfortable now. So that's quite interesting. So as I was here, I was going, okay, but I mean, seriously, you know, 4 years ago, I took a choice to change my life. If I'm not kind of along that road by now, you know, then I think if you picked out anyone about judgment, I think the comparison's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't tend to do that so much anymore, because I've done so many archetype and personality trait quizzes. I kind of feel like, actually, I've just realised that, and I know we've done them and shared them. I feel they've kind of helped me feel, well, that's me. Mm-hmm. And so I think, although I'm sure you'll think of times when I have compared myself. Mm-hmm. I mean, body-wise, I do still, because you know, I've worked on that all my life. That's the challenge still for me.
And I think just quickly kind of insert something there, and I think Brene talks about that a lot in Shame for Women. It's our bodies, you know, comparing ourselves to this unattainable image that's out there, that kind of ideal woman, which doesn't exist. Barbie. Nobody can look like Barbie. Doesn't exist. Anyway, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, thank you. That's probably the ghost that hangs around a wee bit. I think resilience, as you know, the last month, I think I'm learning about resilience. I'm intrigued by resilience. I think, yeah, it's a hard one in a way. I suppose talking about how far they resonated, as in going, okay, that's cool, is interesting. What about yourself?
Well, I picked, there's 10 of them, so I picked those 4 because they, you know, all 10 of them is work in progress. And I think, you know, and I think one of the things that she says in, you know, wanting to live a wholehearted life, wanting to live life fully,
yeah,
is that it's a daily practice.
Yeah.
Every day, you know, and maybe you get better at it, and it becomes more of a way of being, but it's still a choice that you make, you know, like, for example, with letting go of anxiety as a lifestyle. I think, you know, she's saying that it's not that these people are anxiety free, they're just anxiety aware. You know, there's that awareness that you cultivate, and then according to that you can kind of go, okay, I have anxiety, I wonder, you know, being curious and asking yourself, what brought that on, what is this actually about? Which I told you I was just doing my tax return, and not understanding what am I supposed to be, why does that number come from, and all that, and really building up the anxiety.
Yeah, your WhatsApp said that. I can hear the anxiety.
And it's like, okay, so what is this about? Okay, this is about not understanding, because I don't understand exactly what's going to happen. Okay, so I just need to, I know what I need to do. I need to take a step back. I need to kind of methodically. There you go. I'm not going to try and say it again because it's not going to come out. Go through everything, and then I'll be fine. You know? And it's like choosing not to kind of go into the worry and anxiety and kind of, you know, instead of going, oh, breathe. Yeah. So that's that. I'm aware of time.
Yes, I was just thinking actually, I don't know whether you want to put forward something from yours, but what I would like our community to think about is, when do you look back at, if you look back over your life, when have you been in the arena that is, you know, out there, marred by dust, striving valiantly, who come short again and again? When have you been out there, and how have you stayed out there, and what's taken you back into your antechamber? Notice with curiosity and not judgment, of course.
Yeah, I think it's enough with one question, so we'll leave it at that. Good stuff. Time went very quickly today. Thank you very much for your thoughts on Brene.
Thank you, Tiina.
I'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Bye.